Well, hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Okay, so tonight I'm going to review a movie called Desierto. I heard about this when it first came out a few years back, but I never got around to seeing it, so tonight I've watched it, I'm going to review it. It's a pretty good movie. It takes place on the US-Mexican border, and it follows a group of Mexican immigrants who are migrating on foot illegally from Mexico into the United States. It also follows this strange, vigilante, weird, spooky cowboy dude out in the and he's out there sniping them out and taking them out and killing them. And it's a thriller movie. Basically, the tension, it's a thriller movie, but it does work almost like a horror movie in a way. The tension's perfect. Like whenever something's going on, it's done in like a thriller movie fashion, but it's tense. Like it's white knuckle all the way. And you're constantly, like, it definitely is meant to get your heart racing when stuff's going on, for sure. Yeah, it's an interesting concept. What I like about it mainly is you don't really know much about any of the people in the movie. A minor, Asides a few minor scenes of dialogue that provide some backstory on a little few things about the characters here and there, but still not much at all. Other than that, you don't really know anything about any of these people. You don't know what the story on the Mexican immigrants are, any of their individual stories, or what has caused them to be in the situation they're in, or anything like that. And nor do you learn about, I don't even think you know the name of the vigilante, the cowboy guy out killing them. I don't even think his name's ever even brought up in the movie, and you don't know why he's out there doing this. You don't know what his purpose is. You don't know why he hates them so much. Like he has a very bitter and like serious hatred, and you don't know why. There's a few kind of clues, I guess, here and there that you could pick up, but still very subtle, like meant to be interpreted. You have no real idea why. He's an expert with weapons and stuff like that, so you don't know why either. You don't know if he's ex-military or like ex-ranger gone rogue, or like, I don't know, you don't know exactly what the story is on this guy. He is accompanied by his dog, Tracker. And again, that makes the tension it's a really well trained dog, and again they did the scenes with the dog very well in this movie. Very tense, and the dog's swift, like it's a scary, big, scary looking German Shepherd, and really well trained. You can tell used a fully trained real dog, and it moves swift, and it can do damage. And it definitely added to the tension, and it was a scary dog, for sure, 100%. And the dog actually gets killed. Don't mean to spoil it, but that's another heavy scene too. That's that's a white knuckle scene altogether, how that plays out. And that's another one, all kinds of emotions. I mean, you feel terrible for the dog, because dog's just a dog, really well trained dog. And but you also get that certain sense of satisfaction, like, fuck yeah, like the victim is finally stepping up and getting shit done, per se, right? And but then when the guy finds his dog dead, and you see his rage and the sadness that inflicts on him, you also get a revenge feeling from him too, like, oh, like, he killed your dog, like, fucking go get that fucker, right? So yeah, it's an interesting movie. It's it definitely was an interesting concept, and I really like the mystery of it. I really like how you don't really get to know anything about any of this, and all the actors were really really good. They were all believable. Even from the disposable characters, because it starts off as a huge group and it narrows down to about, I'd say, 4 or 5, something like that. And again, you can still tell that, like, so all that other group were fairly disposable characters, and then you can even tell that in the group there's only going to be, 2 or 1 survivor, which is in the end there's 2. And it narrows the group all the way down to 4 briefly, and then down to 3. And those characters are just disposable kind of characters, right? So, but still, all of the actors and all of the different characters and quirks that they had to play were done very well. Jeffrey Dean Morgan plays the cowboy vigilante guy, and that was a really good performance. That was a powerhouse performance. He was really believable and really ominous and menacing on the screen for sure. And yeah, I have almost nothing but good things to say about the movie. It's an interesting concept. It's intense. It's heavy. It's hard to watch at times. There's some really gory scenes, and there's some disturbing content, but it's done properly, and it's meant to be that way. It's meant, like I said, it's meant to get your heart racing. And it's not necessarily meant to be a revenge or even a revenge story or even a political statement from either side of the spectrum. It's just a straight up white knuckle thriller with this as a concept. So I liked that. And there's definitely a lot of things, like it's the first time I've seen the movie, but it's definitely worth like a rewatch. Like I definitely can tell that there's stuff to be interpreted in this movie for sure. And yeah, other than the few bad things that I will say about it, there aren't really bad things. There's just a few cliche things in any sort of movie that involves guns and stuff like that, basically, where this guy's like a dead-on, accurate, perfect shot all the time. Like when it's a disposable character, like just all of the most vital shots that you can imagine he can like just do without thinking about it twice. But the main character, well, the main characters in general, especially the main protagonist, there's always some reason that he fumbles his shot when he's going to take a shot at him. There's always something that miraculously the bullet hits instead of him. He always moves at just the right moment or whatever, which is kind of a little unbelievable when you're seeing everybody else like with perfect precision just being taken right out. There's a twist in the, well, not not necessarily a twist in the movie, but one of the characters decides to do something very cruel and very fight or flight in a situation that is very against the character that they had set up. Mind you, there's kind of a twist to it at the end, but still the way it played out and the way it was presented was heavily against what you got to know of the character beforehand. I also didn't like how at the end, when the last 2 people are there, when it's the final showdown between them, well, actually just one of the characters is involved in the fight, the other one is off injured, which is also to do with the twist that I just was speaking about. I also don't like, I don't hate it, but I didn't like as much how when the final showdown's happening, so it's the last remaining Mexican immigrant and the vigilante, and they're going at it. I don't like how one of them didn't just win and gotten killed off, and whether it be either one, just kind of make it, because you really don't know. It's a movie that you truly don't know who to root for and who's gonna win at the end of the day in the movie. Like, you don't, it's all kind of a mystery. So I think that they should have just chose one and went with that, and kind of, yeah, made it, you could have made it a twist, and it would have been a kind of a twist ending no matter what, whoever won. So I think they should have chose one to win, but instead, the final showdown resolves with the last person deciding not to kill the enemy, and the enemy having his life spared, but being left out in the desert with no rescue. So very good chance he could die, but the main protagonist didn't lower himself to the level of killing him. So, but I understand that in a sense of a story, a good story, and somewhat of a happy ending, or, well, not necessarily a happy ending, but an enlightening ending, or whatever, I guess. But I don't fully agree with it that much. But I do very much so enjoy this movie. I think I'm going to give it. Think I'm going to give this one an A. Not quite an A plus, but it's definitely a good movie, worth an A. And for the cheese grating, it actually has no cheese. This is one of those odd movies where there's no cheese to be found. So there will be no cheese. So yeah, that's my review for Desierto, everybody. Oh yeah, another thing. I don't remember the name of the director, but the director of the movie Gravity, the space movie with Sandra Bullock and George Clooney, directed this movie. Forget his name though, but I remember seeing that when I was looking into this movie. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. Please come back for more.